Good morning, everybody. It is Amy and Jamie for our little coffee chat that we are doing every other week, and we have our coffee. What does your mug say there? Oh, that's very cute.
Mine. Yeah.
Look, I still have my pumpkin spice mug.
Oh, there you go. I mean, that's so yummy. Why
It's,
not?
it's my favorite one. I got this at Dollar General.
Oh,
Just, I don't
nice.
know, like $4 or $5. And it's thick, so that way your coffee stays hot longer. And
Yeah.
it's big, so it really holds like 2 cups of coffee. So
Mine looks bigger than yours. Morning. Mine's too big, but it was the only clean one I could find. So I'm
oh
like,
yeah.
oh.
It holds a pretty good 2 cups of coffee in there. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we are here talking about memberships today. And you can let us know if you are having coffee or tea this morning. And like we mentioned, both of us are, having coffee this morning. I sometimes in the winter though, I will have tea. In the summer, I prefer cold tea. So, and I'll drink that more often, like
So,
iced tea.
when I was on my business retreat recently, I really paid attention to how much coffee I was drinking during the day because I'm a slow sipper and it feels like, oh, I'm drinking coffee constantly, right? And to my surprise, I drank less than I thought that I did. I have 1 cup in the morning, one around noon, and then one in the early evening. And since I got back from my business retreat, I decided I'm going to switch that last cup of coffee at night to tea. So I've been drinking
Yeah.
non-caffeinated tea at night. So
Yeah.
that's my jam
I
now.
I try not to drink the coffee later in the day. But I drank so much caffeine like in my 20s and 30s, and I don't really have as much of a reaction to it. Like I can still drink coffee late at night and go to sleep, which is
Yeah.
not a good thing, right? Because that
Right.
says that everything's all off. You're supposed to have a reaction to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I did quit drinking pop, so I don't drink pop during so I'm not having
Mhm.
that caffeine. But yeah,
Yeah.
I try to switch to tea sometimes. So I see lots of people. So I see
Yes.
Cheryl saying that she's having her first cup. Lori's a tea drinker. Look, Debbie Kastner is having ice water. Look at you.
I
So
hope you live in a warm place because I definitely don't
She
want to have
she
ice
does.
water
She's
right
in
now.
Texas. Yeah, let us know where you're watching from. And I see like a lot of different people. Oh, Cheryl's having decaf green tea.
Nice. I didn't
Yeah.
know that they made decaf green tea, so thanks for
Yeah.
that.
So
Because my daughter Emily is like, don't drink green tea or black tea if you don't want caffeine. But good to know
right.
then. I did notice earlier in the comments, Loretta was saying that it was breaking up for her. Can everybody see and hear us okay? We had like a little glitchy glitch before we came
We
on, but
were, and it seems like it's a little bit better now, but
yeah,
I'll tell you what, let me close out of some of my windows because sometimes that makes a difference if I'm running, especially like Facebook, and it's like stuck on
yeah,
a video or something. So let me do that and just make sure because I'm the one connected in
yeah.
to StreamYard, so it's probably mine if that's the case.
Okay. Heather's saying she can hear
Okay.
us and see us okay.
And it's not like lagging. Before
On
we were
my
trying
end,
to talk, yeah, we were trying to talk to each other and we were kind of talking over each other because there was the lag.
on my end right now, Jamie, it seems to be fine. So I
Okay.
I can see and
I,
hear you okay.
I closed out everything. So
I love
anyway,
your nail polish, by the way, and it matches your creations of Studio
it
29.
it is.
Hello.
I forget what this one was
39.
called,
I'm sorry.
but actually this coming Monday, I think is 3 weeks.
Oh,
And I'm just
wow.
kind of curious. I don't get
You're
my
good.
nails done very often. I have been more recently, but I can kind of tell where there's that fill in space there.
Yeah.
And I
What are
think
they? The
like,
gel nails?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think 3 weeks is about like when you should get
Your
them done,
time.
right?
Yeah.
But I'm going on my retreat in 49 days. So I have to kind of plan out, do I get it done? Do I, I gotta
Yeah.
figure out so I get that done right then.
You should get like beachy colors, like the aqua blues and
Oh,
greens.
now if you go over to my personal profile, I actually posted last night a picture from Pinterest that I found because aligned and anchored is my theme, right?
Yes.
So I found these really pretty navy and white, and then on one nail it had an anchor.
That's so cool.
So
That
I'm
would look
trying to
cute.
find a salon that will do that for me. So I put it out there to see if anybody in my area knows of a salon. And the closest one that I got a response from the nail technician is 50 minutes away.
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah.
So
I
anyway,
don't do my nails.
yeah.
I
It's
don't. I'm wearing
it's
my wedding rings, but I don't even really like to wear jewelry that much. I
yeah.
put some on for our
Earrings.
lives and things like that, but I don't
Yeah,
like
I
to
do
do
earrings.
but
Yeah.
my toes, I did my toes before I went to Destin, and those
Yes.
will be good for a few months. Those will be
Yeah,
fine, but
they do.
yeah.
Anyway, so we have, wait, I have to pull up Kellen's comment here because before we get started talking about memberships, what is a mushroom coffee blend?
I just talked to Kellen about this. I think it was
I have
yesterday or the day
never
before.
heard of that. So
It
I,
has a
yeah,
lot of health benefits. I do know that. I don't personally like mushrooms, but Kellen was telling me, oh, it just has a great taste. It
I've
doesn't
never
taste
heard of
bad.
that. So, well, anyway,
Yes.
well, we have a lot of people showing up here to ask questions about memberships. And, I might need to pull it up on my phone just so I don't lag anything down.
Yeah.
We had a lot of questions in the post itself for the event about memberships. And
Oh,
I thought that
great.
I would go ahead and pull that up so that we can, let me not get distracted, because that's what happens when you go.
Hey, we all get squirrel moments working
Yes.
online. It's just
It's so
kind
distracting
of
because
par for the
all the
course.
stuff, yeah, all the stuff comes up. Okay. So let me make sure. Oh, there's the event. Yeah. All the stuff comes up. Okay. Wait. Close that out. Okay. I'm trying to find where the actual questions went to.
I'm looking too. I'll see if I can go and
Oh, here
find.
they are. Here they are. Okay.
Do you want me to try and
So,
find it as well, Jamie, or are you going to read
yeah,
and
I
still
got it
wait?
pulled up.
Okay.
Yep. I started my first membership in May of 2020. And so I'll just kind of give like a little breakdown. And I think that this will probably answer a lot of these questions. And I just say, this is the way that I did it, right? Like your market, your audience, your focus is going to be different, but this is just the way that I did it. And I think that as I follow more people, learn more, I think that I did a couple things right.
I think you did a lot of things right, my friend. Pat yourself on the back.
Well, because I really made a point to try to make profit before I made a lot of um, more, I kept things simple, right?
Yeah,
And
because there's so many
still,
expenses that we need to get eventually, but that's smart.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of how my thought process worked. But not to go into too much of the story, but I actually got the idea for my membership in December of 2019, which was a month before I started my business and 6 months almost before I actually launched the membership. So I kind of want you to think about that. Like, I completely believe that I got an inspired idea that was meant for me. And I think that that conviction of that is what has kept it going and given me the belief that I needed to do it. So when I started my membership, very I wasn't even planning on it really, but that was in the middle of the pandemic, right? We couldn't really do a lot of other things in person. So an online membership was a source of income. So what I did was I started doing live videos because one of the first things that I feel like you need is an audience. You
Mm-hmm.
need an audience to launch a membership to. So somebody can put that right there in the audience is always first. Always first. You have to have an audience to be able to launch to. So the fact that I had the inspired idea wasn't enough because I had to have somebody to talk to about it, right?
Right.
So the audience is always first. So I started going live and I built my audience. And right about that time, after the end of the month, there was about a month that I was doing live videos, and I was also introduced to a free workshop. And that free workshop is coming up again in April. And so that free workshop was all about memberships and how to start the memberships and how to grow the memberships and how to keep the memberships. And I did that free workshop. And on the Friday of the free workshop that was going on through the next week, I believe, the timing of it, I decided that I was going to do a subscription box, which is a form of a membership because it's a monthly recurring income. And this is how simple I keep things. That was on Friday. I did a little bit of research over the weekend, looked up some things that I could put into a box. And on Monday of the same, like 3 days later, I did a live video and I said, and somebody can type these words because I use this all the time. Hey, I was thinking about whatever it is that you want to offer. Hey, I was thinking about that I wanted to offer something that a lot of you have been asking for, right? So if you have the audience, you can find out if they've been kind of asking for it. And I'll give you one of the ways that I did that. And that was how I launched. I did a live video. Oh,
I'm so sorry.
I did a live video and I asked if people would be interested in what it was that I was offering. With the I don't know what the caveat, the upfront, like I had never done this before, so you would be getting in and actually helping me to develop it.
Yeah.
And so that incentive was you would be part of something. You would be part of something brand new. And I was already doing live videos every single day. So my launch was doing a video for 5 days in a row, talking about and asking them every single day, do you want to be part of this? Do you want to join this? And I gave them a deadline. And at the time, I had no email list. I had no customer service management system, no constant contact or anything like that. I had my Facebook Live and I had a PayPal link. And I am telling you right now, and I tell this to everyone that wonders about how you start a membership, you need to start it simple. If you were in your head, if you were overwhelmed, Facebook Live and a PayPal link. That was it. And when I say that was it, I didn't have a group that I had set up. I had no recorded videos. I had no content. That was it. And I did end up setting up an event in Facebook, and that was a whole lots of mistakes that I made there because it was like one of the very first events that I had ever set up on Facebook. But that was how I started. And just to give like a couple of numbers, I think I had, by the end of April, when I launched the membership, I think I had 800 followers. It was around there. That might have been closer to the end of May. I know it was between 500 and 800 because I remember looking. I don't have all my numbers written down. but that was how many members. And I I think pretty closely from all the different times that I've launched, probably a good percentage, if you want to figure out a guesstimate of how many members you might get, you're only going to have maybe about 2 to 3% conversion
Yeah.
of whatever you want to use, your email list, your followers, your, whatever. So if I think about, I had about 500 followers and I had 9 people subscribe. 9 people is what I started with. And that was a starting point for me. And I was ecstatic about that people wanted to pay me money to send out a box that I didn't even really know. I've shared this before, but do you know what I put in my very first box?
I haven't heard this story. I'm not sure.
I put a journal from the Dollar Tree.
Nice.
One of those little sketchbooks from the Dollar Tree. And I put like a few other little things because my starting point cost was very low. Like I made the price point very low for these people that were joining in. I always try to encourage people, if you're feeling stuck, if you want to start a membership, like you want to have a compelling reason why to start it. You have to have an audience, but you have to keep it simple. It can't be, I know that we see all of these people that have these big memberships and we can calculate how much money we think that they're making, but nobody started that way. Everybody starts with 1 subscriber.
And the ones with the larger memberships, they are paying out more in
Oh,
overhead.
yeah, we don't know the whole,
Even though we are, even though we're online, it's not a brick and mortar, we're doing it online, but there's still costs to business. So as you grow, there's certain things that you will have to eventually get. But I really love your whole concept and avenue of keep it simple, start nice and easy.
Yeah. So Kellen, I'm not seeing all of the questions, and I'll pull up the questions there, but I wanted to start, just with a little bit of my story, and then I'll read the questions too. But I see Kellen's question here is, I would like to know all that you need to do without investing in that course, because she knows which course I'm talking about. Kellen, I started my membership without taking that course.
Same. I'm not even in the course right now. But I did as well take the free workshop, and it is jam-packed full of awesomeness. But prior to that, before I even knew about this person, I was actually listening to a podcast, another podcast about memberships for quite a while. Every time I'd be on the elliptical, I had it in my ears. So I learned quite a bit, and they actually had, well, they still do, and I'm still a member of their free group on Facebook, which is pretty helpful as well. But even the free course that you're talking about, they have the group as well.
So I actually have gone through that course 3 times now, and it'll be coming up again at the end of May. But here's the thing, and I listen to a lot of people about this. I have proof of this. You can do things without taking the courses. You can look up on YouTube. Everything is available on Google. You can do it all yourself, but you will probably do it slower. And that's truth. If you want to get farther, if you want to get to the next level in your business faster, you're going to have to invest in the people that already are where you want to be. You will stay stuck. You'll maybe move a little bit ahead, but you'll do it slower. And I'm just being completely honest, and that's not me trying to, I have proof that has happened to me. When I invested, I accomplished things that I wanted to do faster because I got in close to the people who were doing the things that I wanted to do. I didn't stay with the people who were not yet doing the things that I wanted to do. Right? Like we have our peer group, we have our support groups, we have our accountability groups. Those are all awesome. But until you get to the people and you learn from the people and you invest in the people who are doing the big things that you want to do, you won't be able to get there as fast. I don't know if you agree with that. And I don't know that I've been that bold to say that very often, but I've had it happen multiple times.
I do agree with it because, with running my own membership and coaching artists and teaching people, yes, if you want to get somewhere faster, and it's definitely a good idea to get a coach or be in a membership or the point. My biggest thing is I need to feel a connection with that person. I need to know that this is the right flow for me. This is the right place for me. That kind of thing. So, and same goes for my own membership. Like, I don't want someone joining and then being like, oh, well, I don't really like you, or I don't really understand your personality. It's like, that's why we are going
about that. Yeah.
That's why we are going live, and we are showing who we are, and we are giving away amazing tips and things like that we know on our pages and through our emails and things like that, so that you can get to know. So if you feel a connection, I say go for it. My thing is, and I am not in the course that you're talking about, but my thing is, I'm very good. I have this weird talent of reverse engineering, which I never knew that I had until I started working online. So I think just because of the way that my brain thinks when I see something, and it's very figure outable to me for the most part. I can kind of get the gist of what's happening, and I wouldn't have been able to do that as much if I didn't build up my tech skills, because we're working online. So now that I have quite a bit of tech skills under my belt, and I can see and reverse engineer in my brain and then make it a reality. I'm blessed, and I'm glad that I have that part of my brain, the way that it thinks. But I still 100% agree. Like, just because I didn't take the paid course that you're talking about, I still am in another membership right now that is very expensive. Actually, it's, I think, more expensive than the one that you're talking about. But that's because that is a subject all about Facebook ad campaigns and Facebook ad manager and business manager and marketing with paid traffic and things like that, which I'm not even really there yet. I've dabbled in it a little bit, but the reason I paid for that, and I have a business coach for that, is because I knew eventually with my business, I would want to try that out. And it's basically like a big, huge jet cockpit in there. So if you've ever been inside,
all things.
I don't want to press a wrong button. So for me, could I have figured it out? Probably, but this goes right back to what you were just saying, your point of, if you want to get somewhere faster, pay for it or connect with the people that are doing it, whatever you have to do. And I am thankful, even though it's an expensive membership, I am thankful, because when I first got in, I felt like a fish out of water. And I'm like, oh, these are big wigs in here. They're talking a language I don't understand. And it literally took me like months. I think it's been maybe 7 months now that I've been in it. And for the past 2 months, I feel like I'm getting it. I'm understanding things. I know what's going on now. So it's really a matter of, do you really need it? And you got to make that choice for yourself. But definitely you need to kind of research, look around, see what's happening. And and I did my membership kind of the opposite as you, because I did not even find out about this free course and the course that you're talking about prior to when I started designing my
Oh, right.
membership. Yeah, so I didn't even know. At first, I thought I was just going to sell courses and courses only. I'm actually running my first course right now. It's an 8-week course, and we have our last week coming up, and they're doing incredible. So I'm very, very proud and thankful that my students are doing totally awesome in the course. But yeah, I started mine differently. I might have done what you did, Jamie, if I would have had that information. But I basically set up my entire website membership on my website with all of my content, my core content, before I even told anyone that, hey,
Wow.
we're opening a membership. But I will say, and I felt good about that because, like, great, I have some content in here, but it's still, so when you open the doors, and you welcome your first members in, it's still, we're always learning, like you had mentioned earlier in our conversation as well. And last year, I actually did an entire revamp of my chapter trainings, my core trainings.
Oh yeah, I feel like we're always tweaking.
Yeah.
And yeah, my membership has gone through several. Yeah.
Yeah. So would I have done that if I let my founding members in and I didn't have content yet and let them help me figure out the content? Maybe, maybe not. But that's just the way that I had done mine anyway. But Jamie's way is much more simple. So and the only reason I did that is because I'm techie and I know how to create a membership on my own website. So.
And I will just say I'm 3 years in now, and I've had that membership since May of 2020, and then this past summer I just started a second membership, kind of more like for the creative business owners. And in those 3 years, I still do not have a website. I am still hosting my memberships, both of them, on Facebook with a private group. And I do have a customer service, I have Constant Contact now, but primarily I'm still using my Facebook Live to launch, and I'm using a PayPal link. And I've just kind of added the email service to, help with getting the word out, which is all part of the marketing and everything.
Yeah. So I really think this is great that we have 2 different avenues on how we started, because this gives everyone watching right now, different viewpoints, and all things are possible. It's just a matter of, what speaks to you, what avenue speaks to you better, and what are you most comfortable with. And the biggest advice I can give is just keep watching, looking, putting feelers out, and imagine and make that picture in your brain of what do you want. And be aware of the things that you notice and the opportunities for you to learn and construct a membership if that's your goal.
Yeah. Here is the other thing that I see a lot of people, they have this idea, like my idea that I had. It is a little bit different, but the initial idea for a membership subscription box came before, 6 months before. But I see people so excited about their idea, so excited about what they want to offer. They do recorded videos, they do all of this stuff, but they have never proven the concept.
Mm-hmm.
They've never done the market research. And so that's the part that I didn't kind of mention. I had people watching my videos and they were asking for more. I had people who were wondering what it was that I was doing more than what I was showing.
Yeah. That's one thing you and I have in common. Then that happened to me. I
already had people asking that. And really that's how like the coaching start of my, business kind of evolved too. So here is something that I did on my personal profile. And I don't have it, but I don't have it out, but I do still have this. I had a note card. That's how high tech I am. Okay, note card. So here is the question that I asked on my personal profile. I said, who gets a subscription box? I didn't say who wants to buy my box.
Yeah.
I didn't say who gets an art, I just opened up a conversation.
Yeah.
And so people started saying, "Oh, I don't even know what all the boxes are." There's
HelloFresh.
HelloFresh, there's the FitFab Fun box,
Yeah.
there's the, whatever. And here's what happened. People started messaging me. And they started messaging me and say, "Hey, if you want a code whatever there, then I can give that to you." And that started a conversation.
Yeah.
And I said, "Well,
Nice.
actually, I was thinking about." So you don't do that out on your public profile. Conversations
Yeah.
in the messages. That's how I build those relationships.
That's a
So
wonderful tip that you just gave everyone. I think that's genius, really.
I
Simple and genius.
So in the direct messages, in your messenger, in, however, in your text messages, however you do that, you have real conversations with real people, not your followers, not your numbers, not your email, real people. And I started asking them and saying, "Well, actually, I thought about doing a subscription box. Would you like to be one of my testers?" And I had a note card of 11 people who said, "Yes, I would love to test your subscription box." A lot of them
I
were
like
people that,
that. I like that wording that you use, testers instead
yeah,
of founding members.
nobody understands what founding members is. Let's just be honest. Like,
Right.
yeah, would you like to test out this concept that I have? I I probably would have just done that. And I did actually do that with my second membership. I didn't start it as a membership, the second one. I just asked for people to test it. I asked for people to test out the links for me. I asked for people to test out the flow of how I had it laid out. I asked people to get in there and figure out. I didn't even have a group for the second one, but to like, "Can you test this for me?" And I think that as a business, all of us want to make money. Tell me in the comments if you're a business, you want to make money, right? But when you first start a membership, this might be hard truth for you. Those founding members, those first people, they are not about the money for you. They are about the stories, the testimonies. So I had 9 people that said yes, and I just knew that if I could get them to experience what I was experiencing, because I tell them like I was a member of my own membership, like I was doing the stuff and I was going through. If I could get them to experience what I had been experiencing, even for a week at the point when I launched my membership, that I would have stories. I would have testimonies.
Mm-hmm.
And I've shared this story before out here on my page, but one of the times that I launched, I got several of my members on Zoom. And I zoomed that over to my page here. And I had, out of those 9 people, I had my mom and my aunt, because they're crafty people, creative
Yeah.
people. They wanted to be in there. And I had my cousin and, and then other people too. Well, my mom was one of the people who were on the Zoom. And I don't think that she's watching, but I know that she comes over here and watches. So I think that since she was live on my page, she'll probably be okay with this. But she had always told me, "I love being in your membership because, I learn all your creative things and I love the way you teach and that."
Yeah.
And
Your mom
and the
sounds like my
community.
mom. I had my mom on a Zoom as well.
So this day, though, we're live on my business page, and I ask all of the people. There are 3 or 4 people, and I was interviewing them. What has been the most beneficial thing of the membership, or something like that. And my mom, who had always told me it was about the community, whatever what you're teaching, she said that day, "I don't know what I would have done during COVID when I was by myself if
Yeah.
you would not have started your membership."
Yeah.
Like I had to take a moment on the Zoom.
Yeah.
And from that day, I was like, I don't care if I have to show up on my Facebook Live when I'm really not feeling it. I don't care if I have to stay up until 3 a.m. to do my emails to send out. If the one person that I could impact was my mom, I would do that any day, all day, even if I didn't feel like it.
You are an amazing daughter.
It just
Yeah.
really touched me that I had made that kind of impact and I didn't even like
Yeah.
really know it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I think we,
so,
oh my
yeah,
gosh, so many of us, the whole world, like we needed a connection during
yeah,
that time, you know, and,
yeah. And I
and
don't even know that I realized even like so much,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So we're already like 35 minutes into the video and we haven't really started answering questions yet. So I'm going to pull up the questions. So at least people who are showing up here live feel like we're answering their questions. So the first one is a really good one. And I think that I'm doing these maybe out of order, but this is the first one I'm seeing. Tamra Gadberry asked, I'm interested in the launch process and the timeline for the promotion leading up to the launch. So I gave you a little bit of Friday, I got an idea, Monday, I launched. I mean, it can really be that simple. And especially if you ask, hey, I was thinking of kind of idea. But here is what I will tell people, and I can put the link. I don't know if Tamra, I think she said that she would have to watch the replay. But I started with Jeff Walker's launch book. And if you want that launch book link, you can just put launch in the comments and I'll make sure and get you the link so you know there's two of them. So I
Yeah.
want to
He
make
has
sure that
really
you
good
get the,
strategies.
yeah.
Hmm.
And it lays out when and the dates. And if you want to do a quick launch, if you want to do a longer launch, and he lays out the wording and all of that.
Hmm.
So that's a quick answer to hers
Yeah.
there. I think Richard's on here and he said, how do you decide on what to offer? So write this down. When you get those original testers or founding member people, you ask them questions. I did not have a set things. I was not stubborn. That's the word I was like. I was not stubborn on the things that I thought that I wanted to provide in my membership. I got them in there and then I asked them questions. Would you rather see a Facebook Live or would you rather be on Zoom or would you rather have a recording? I still do that. And it changes because the members change, right? Would you prefer to do it this way or have the tutorial this day? Would you, how many times per month? I had ideas, but until I got them in there, I didn't know what they wanted.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
ask questions. And proving the concept, I think, is kind of what Richard's asking too. And just start noticing what people are asking for. What is it that people see you as an expert on? That's probably something really good for a membership, right? Is something
Right, like we were talking earlier about
Yeah.
what are people messaging you for?
Yeah.
And asking you questions.
What questions are they asking? Yeah. So let's see. Susie says, I'd like to have a membership to offer my designs to use for for others to use as personal business. I'm thinking it would be good to have around 25 to 30 designs in place before launching. I answered her, but I would love to hear your answer to that, Amy.
I mean, I think that's wonderful, but I don't think that she really needs that many. I think that, geez, even if you just had a few or 10, just to get started. And then like Jamie was saying, you can ask your members questions. Which one of these designs are like the winner for you? Which one do you love? What do you want to see more of? So if you already have them made up, great. If you don't, then I wouldn't sweat the small stuff and just start with a smaller amount and just paint that vision for them of what hey, I want to offer you all this. And, I'm open to ideas and, this is my specialty, but I'd love to know what you're, basically asking questions. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just commented to her that I had nothing. I had nothing in place before I started my membership. It was a little bit different because I wasn't offering designs that you have to kind of have ahead of time and all that kind of thing. But Yeah, keeping it simple. And I think that you're right. 25 to 30. I mean, my gosh, that could be, I'm thinking 2 designs per month is, a lot.
Right.
So,
I mean, if she was talking about deliverables, definitely don't deliver 30 pieces per
no,
month. That's way too much. That's system overload for your people.
because I will tell you, and the workshop, and I think that I have, oh, I don't know that I made a banner, but if you would like to get the link for when the workshop opens on April 20th that we're talking about memberships, and it's a free like week-long workshop, he talks about in there that the reason that a lot of people cancel a membership is overwhelm.
Yeah.
And if you deliver 30 things that they aren't even able to use, and I found this out with my subscription box, they were not using the contents, they will cancel.
Yeah.
It's better to give them less than you think. So,
Yeah.
and you'll learn all about that. If you want to comment workshop, I will make sure. And I don't have the direct link yet, and so that's why I didn't have it ready
It is
before
a good
the
workshop. You'll
video.
all love it if you haven't taken it before. I just want to answer Jessica real quick. She's like, Amy, how did you start your art commission membership? So basically I teach artists how to market their art online, how to make money with their paintings. I also made a lot of money throughout my lifetime with portrait drawings, things like that. So I have a lot of experience in that. The quick version of how I started that membership, Creative Warriors, is because I started to, I had a big collector base I was selling to online that I built myself. And then like Jamie and I were talking, when you start getting questions in your inbox from people, so I had artists messaging me saying, how do you do that? How do I sell my art? I don't know if I'm good enough, this and that, asking me all these things. I'm like, you know what? I would love to help and inspire other artists who feel like, oh, they're stuck. They don't know how to sell a painting, or they don't know how to make money online. And I'm like, well, I know how to do it. I've done it. I've been proving to do it for 3 years straight. So I basically,
Yeah.
Jessica, took what I did for myself and put that into my Creative Warriors membership. Basically, that's a short version so that people can follow the steps that I did. And I sold my art in numerous different ways. There was a couple that I stuck to pretty closely, but I put all of the different ways to sell your art within my membership because I've proven that it can work. So,
Right.
that's another thing is, Jamie, I think that real quick is, but I think it's an important point that you should, if you're going to be jumping in, not just to a membership, but a coaching call or anything that you're doing or paying for, is this person doing it now, or have they proven to do it in the past? There's a couple exceptions to that, but for the most part, that's how I feel that you should be looking for those two clues.
Yeah. I will definitely come back. Gosh, I'm getting a lot of feedback. I will definitely come back to the questions because I'm not catching all of them in the comments, but we will. But I want to answer the people who had submitted the questions. So Tammy says, how do we know when we're ready to start a membership, and how do we poll people to see what they want if they don't engage on our posts? So and she had somebody else, Dawn, it looks like, comment on that. And, I'll go back to building an audience is definitely, because you have to have an audience to launch to. And the higher that number is, the more success you're going to have in converting those people.
It is a numbers game when it comes to the followers.
It really is. Now, I will say, though, because her second part is about engaging on the post. So my membership that I started this past summer about the Engagement Made Easy, that's the purpose of that membership, is to how to engage your audience more. And I will say, I did a little talk yesterday about building community. And I will say, because I very intentionally engage my audience and do a lot of the different things about Messenger and, really feel like I intentionally want to make connections with people, I do have a higher conversion rate because of that.
Yeah.
So it is about numbers, but I will say that I have converted higher with lower numbers because you can have that personal connection
Yeah.
with people more than, so you can do the numbers thing two different ways, right? You can do the big numbers and convert at 2 to 3%, or you can have a smaller engaged community and more interaction and more high touch with them and probably convert a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Um,
Agree.
so yeah, Tammy, and I think that she just joined the Engagement Made Easy. So
She's loving
that
it.
was what I told her, that getting the engagement and having the conversations and the connections with people, that makes a big difference. So, okay, Jessica, I know, is on here, and she said, how do you know how to price and how do you announce your launch? So I will tell you this story about what not to do. So, or how not to do it the way that I did it. So when I launched my first membership, I did do a little bit of research of what I wanted to offer. And like I said, I wanted to send a box that had the Dollar Tree sketchbook in there. So there's $1. I put a couple of other little things. I put a marker, I put a Sharpie. My cost for that, even including the box and everything and the shipping at the time, was maybe like $6 or $7. So all in. So I thought that I wanted to do a bi-monthly membership. But then after I announced that that was what I was going to do, like they would pay me bi-monthly. After I announced that, I realized that PayPal, I didn't know how to do that in there. So I
I don't
had
know
the
if you can
price.
do that with the bi-monthly. Can you?
You can set up payment
Oh,
plan
okay.
type things. Yeah. I don't know necessarily for a membership, but yeah. So,
Yeah.
but at the beginning, I just want to keep it simple, right?
Yeah.
So in my mind, my membership, I eventually wanted to be at $39. But for a founding member, I thought that I would make that lower, so I made it $29. Well, then when I realized I couldn't do a bi-monthly, I just split that in half. So my very first one was $14.50. Like, it was so totally arbitrary. I will tell you a little marketing tip that I've found, and I think that it's probably psychologically true, that when you end things in 7,
Yeah.
they sound more, so you see a lot of $7 to get like
Yeah.
a real low ticket, not a membership, maybe $17, $27, $37, 47. That's why you see a lot of those, is because psychologically 7 in our mind kind of. So I think depending on what you're offering and not offering too much, I think 17 is a good place to start a tester group of founding members. And then as you build content, what I've done with my memberships is I raise the price.
Yeah.
And so because you now have more content in your membership, you can justify that higher price, and they're not getting the same price as your original members, and so
Yeah.
so there are a lot of different things, but yeah. And then I had already kind of talked about how do you announce your launch. I think you have to build up to it. And the launch book definitely talks a lot about that, how you build up that anticipation. I talked about this the other night to a group that I work with and talked about, think about Hollywood movies. How far ahead are they giving you previews of those movies? And they're just giving you short little clips, just short little, little teaser. Yeah. Yeah. So it's the same kind of way. So by the time, when I launched my course last year, I actually had people that were saying, like, take my credit card, right? Because if you've built that up, they want more of what you're talking about. They want that vision of what you've already painted for them. They don't even need to see what it is that you're offering, because you've already proven to them by how you've led up to it that you know what you're talking about. Like you said, that you've done it in the past. And yeah.
Yeah. The Yellow Rose Paint Party. So the launch book is by Jeff Walker.
Yeah, Jeff Walker. So I'll put the link in there. So this is Nilda, and I think that she's on here. Can I do it without Constant Contact or another website? Yes and yes. Like I had no website, still don't 3 years later. And I did not have Constant Contact when I started. I had 0 emails when I started. I did not send out 1 email my first launch at all. None. I know. Anybody who says build an email list is probably going to say, no, don't. But that was the way that I started. And I was perfectly happy with 9 people. So how many followers should I have before offering a membership? I think this is probably pretty standard, that you can do it 2 ways, but most people I hear say between like 800 to 1,000, kind of around in there. But it depends on if they're highly engaged too. Like I've heard of people converting 300 highly engaged people and getting a big number of members. So in the workshop, and you can comment workshop for this that starts on April 20th with Stu McLaren, he answers a lot of these kinds of things too, and gives story after story after story. Like I don't even know how he keeps track of all the stories. So, and then how many followers? Should there be a free group and a paid membership? So I'll give my kind of what I did here. And then when I started my membership for my art journaling subscription box, it was in May of 2020. I launched almost every single month for a solid year. So I was launching I didn't do June. I launched in July. Well, then in August, I thought, well, I want to do a bigger launch. And I did not have a free group at that point. But when I launched, and if you've participated in any kind of a challenge, this is what they do at the end a lot of times. That was a great challenge, right? Hopefully that you got something valuable from that. And if you did, that's great. And I hope you continue to, follow me or, whatever. That's your first option. The second option is, I hope you join my membership or take my course or, whatever it is that you're offering, that you're building up to. You want to offer the value during a workshop type thing, but, we're business people. It's supposed to lead to something. The third option is, I know this might not be the right time for you to join my membership, my course, whatever the reason, but I have this free group to be able to, have you stay connected in a community rather than just be a follower on my page. And then, you can stay in that community. So a lot of the people that are watching are in my CBOB group. So the Creative Business Owner Basics group. That group was formed exactly in the way that I just talked about. So last March, I launched my course. And at the end of my course, for the people who didn't join my course, I said, here's this group, and you can join this group. So a lot of people now I see, they form the free group to do the challenge, then launch and then that group usually closes. So there's different ways. That's the way that I've done it. And now I have that free group to be able to offer value in there to those people in a specific way that are, have a common reason why they're there. And then when it comes to my course or my membership or something, those would be the people that would have the most value, get the most value from those things. So that's where I talk about them. So instead of like out here on my business page a lot of times. So the last one, Lori says, how much content is needed in guides or how to create the guides? Less is more. People will leave if you have too much because it's overwhelming. As far as like creating the guides, I'm sure that you can go Google how to create guides in a Facebook group, but it is in the setup. It's in the setup of the group where they've changed it around a little bit. You add
you got to add it.
Yeah, it's a set or I forget the titling of how they say it, but you have to add the guides to the group. And I will say When you have a membership, you want to organize and have guides because that helps your members go through the content better, right? I've had a lot of people tell me in my course and my memberships, it's organized, it's laid out, I can find stuff. You know, if you know how to navigate the Facebook group, that's like a whole nother thing because they'll move things around sometimes. But you want to make it very easy for them to digest and to consume. In contrast to a free group, if you have a free group, stop today putting stuff in guides. That might go against what you believe that you should do, but your free group is not supposed to be organized like your membership is. That's what they're paying for in the membership, is to have it easier, to be able to find it easier, to be able, don't do that in your free group. I've had to pull back in both of my free groups of not doing that. And it's for your benefit, but it's for their benefit too. You don't want to attract the people that just want everything for free. You want to attract the people that see the value in paying you for your membership. And that means paying you to have it all organized. Don't give them organized inside of your free group.
So I always thought that way until my business retreat when I was listening to the TME stuff. And one of the women that, has a booming membership, and she was giving some advice. I might try setting up guides in my free group, but I never did that. I always believed what you just were talking about. But after hearing her story and how she works her free group, I'm going to give it a try, I think, and see how it works out. But I'm only giving limited information, and just to kind of get a taste of what it is like to be in my membership. And it's not going to be, I'm going to answer every single question and do everything possible and bend over backwards, because it is a free group.
Yeah.
But I lived for years and years the same way that you have with like, okay, well, in my Creative Warriors membership, there's guides set up. I also have a whole website with the same information. Right. You can go there. But so I'm going to try it, but like I said, I'm going to keep it very minimal, and all of the really amazing, juicy stuff that's going to change your life is going to be in the membership.
Yeah. Now I have done some guides inside of my free groups when there's maybe a challenge in there, and I want to make sure that they can find the information for the challenge. So I'm not saying I don't have any guides in my free groups. I do, especially when I was adding a lot more than I needed to be in my free groups. So you can have guides in there, but you don't want to make it so organized and everything that they have no reason to come join your membership.
Exactly.
So here is something that somebody can type in the comments too, because this really made it clear for me how to offer things. In a free group, you offer the what. In a free group, you offer the what. In the membership is how you deliver the how.
Yep.
And if you have been thinking that you're giving away too much free stuff, which I don't think that's really the mindset to think about things, but if you're thinking that I'm giving away too much free stuff, then you're giving away too much of the how.
Yeah.
Right? Create some curiosity and reason that they would want to join a membership.
And the why. Like, people need to know why. The why and the how, the what and the why, and then the how in your membership.
Yeah. And Marta's asking, I think, the question that a lot of people talk about here. And I offer a lot of different things on my business page, but she says, if you teach painting in your membership, what kind of content can you give in your free group that's different? Well, it is different, because you're just giving, like what I do a lot of times on my business page is I give a snippet.
Yeah.
I don't give the whole thing.
How about
I
just a
give,
quick tutorial, quick
yeah,
tip?
I give a reel, I give a hyperlapse, and I
Yeah,
give things like that. And then I will give the full version
yeah,
in my membership. Or I'll give a simplified version on my business page, and I'll give the,
yep,
you know, or I'll demonstrate, but I won't explain. Right? Do you see the difference? Like in your free group on your page, those are just to get people interested. They're to get people to walk in the door. They're to
yep.
get people curious about, how do I work with you more? I like what you're doing here. How do I work with you more? So, yeah, I think too, and I talked about this a little bit in a video that I did inside the CBOB group, is about how to be an expert. And I think that when you can offer something, just like both of us have done, that is your signature thing, then the membership becomes your signature thing, and that's so I
Yeah.
think that I think there's something about that. So Teresa, as far as like the difference between the what, the why, and the how, if you take the free workshop, so just comment workshop and you'll get in there and he can explain it a whole lot better and the reasons why. And but that's how I started thinking about my free group versus my membership, and that really really helped. I don't give a lot of the how, out on my public, even if
Yeah.
it's a private group, but a free group. Yeah. I saw somebody's up here that I was going to talk about too. So Sarah says she can't wait to listen to it again. Oh, Teresa. So Teresa said, and this is kind of going into group stuff rather than membership, but I think this is important. So I talked about when I did a workshop in August of 2020, and it was an art journaling workshop. And what I wanted to afterwards, I knew that I wanted to have a free group because to me, that's a more personal community
Yeah.
than my business page, but I didn't know the name. And that's what she's asking. How do you determine the name? And here's what I would say. We're on Facebook, and we don't have to pay for Facebook, and we don't have to pay to have a business page, but we do have to follow the guidelines that Facebook already gives to us, and the algorithm, if that's what you want to call it. Really, the algorithm is just their business program. I don't know if that's like the right word, but it's how do we keep people on our platform? Because when they keep people on Facebook, then they can put ads in front of people on Facebook, and that's how they make their money. I mean, just they're a business. Facebook is a business, but we don't have to pay to have a Facebook business page on here, which I am thankful. So if anybody knows anybody, like I'm grateful, I'm thankful. Thank you, Facebook. But we do have to play by what they say. And I will tell you that some people get frustrated about the algorithm. You guys, we as consumers are dictating their algorithm. We are telling them our habits. The reason that videos, the reason that reels have progressed the way that we told them. We gave them that information. We have told them that our attention spans are this short. And so reels are that we're telling them. So you can be upset about the algorithm if you want, but you are telling Facebook what that algorithm needs to be. So I'll get off that. So back to the free group. The free group has to be a name that someone is going to search on Facebook. I don't care if you want to make it your business name and call it your business name VIP group. You can do that, but you will not have people search for your group. I am very, very close, 3 years in, which this might not sound like a huge deal, but I can tell you kind of how this has progressed. I opened that free group for the art journaling specific for people to get into my subscription box in August of 2020. And it took me a while to figure out the name. But I started thinking about what would people search? What would people search to find out more about art journaling? What would people search to find out more about whatever it is that you are, trying to offer? And I came up with Art Journaling 101. And my virtual assistant right now just sent me a message the other day that said, you are really close to 3,000 people inside that free group. 3,000 people that I do not talk about. I don't even know the last time I mentioned it on my business page. I don't send them emails. Like, there's probably a lot of things that I could do with that group that I'm not doing. The reason that that group has grown, and I track this, they search it on Facebook. Those people are not coming to my business page. They don't even probably know that I have a business page. They don't really know who I am. They're searching art journaling, and Art Journaling 101 comes up at the top of the list. So when you're naming your free group, think about what it is that people are searching. And there's a lot of different ways that you can figure that out, and you can go in and find out what people are searching and things, but you need to name it something. If you want Facebook to recommend your group, you want to name it something that people would search. Don't get attached to having it be something about your business name. Don't get attached to having it be something, it has to be something that people are going to search. So I could go on and on about the whole group topic. So what do you have to say about that, Amy?
Well, I mean, I know that you're right. In the beginning, I didn't really get that, or maybe I just kind of glazed over it when I started my Creative Dreams free group. But then I went in over a year ago and I added to the name. So I put artist, entrepreneur onto that. And I also think that the first couple of lines in your description about the group is very important to have some really
because
good
that
SEO. Yeah, because that's the first thing people are going to see, those first couple of sentences, if they click on your group. And I believe it's also searchable with the SEO keywords in there as well. Just like the first couple of lines in the bio of your business page is super important as well. But yeah, I agree with you. Inside of my membership, I teach my members how to create their own art collectors group because I had good luck doing that as far as selling my own paintings throughout the years. And I called my own art collectors group Amy Parker Art because that's my .com. That's the name of my business.
Yeah.
So that's how that happened. But unless somebody happens upon me, they're not going to search my name. But being an artist, creating fine arts, there's Van Gogh and there's Monet and there's this and there's that. So, it's building a little following for yourself. And it is important being an artist for them to know your name and that they're purchasing a piece that you signed as a creation from you. So there's a little exception there, but you still have to use the keywords in your description. But that's a whole nother story, because that's what I teach for artists. But if, you're building an audience to eventually open a membership, if that is your goal, then yeah, I do agree that you need to have some sort of rich name that is searchable. You can actually go to Google and just type in whatever your industry is, and then you see all these questions that pop up, right, that people are already asking. So that's a great tip and a good way to quickly find what keywords people are already typing in to find information about your industry.
Yeah. I don't remember right off what this website is called, but if somebody just wants to put public in, it'll jog my memory to look it up. And you can go to this website and type in things, and similar, it will tell you the questions that people are asking. So that's kind of similar too. You can also go to Pinterest.
Yeah.
Is another, and I know Diana commented SEO. That's really what I'm saying is you want to have in your name the search words that people are. to
Even in
optimize.
Facebook. I mean,
Yes.
you seriously can just do that. I've done that as well. And that's
Yeah.
how I ended up starting my other free groups. I have a couple free groups, and one is Living Artists trying to sell drawings and paintings, and the other one is Creative Dreams Artist Entrepreneur. So the Living Artist, right? I actually got the idea from one of the groups that I'm in that is super popular, has a ton of members. I changed the wording, of course, to make it my own. Um, but you can literally go to the search bar inside of Facebook, because Facebook's
I
a big, huge
I think I
search
did that.
engine too.
And I think too, when you're naming your free group, which really I did not start with a free group. So hear us when all of these things that we're talking about start. If you're just at the very beginning thinking about a membership, start simple. Work your way up to what we're talking about with a free group. Work your way up to, all of these other. I did not have that. And honestly, if I would have had a bigger audience, more in my free group, more people, I think that I would have been overwhelmed and like scared if I would have gotten more than those 9 people. You
Yeah,
know, you can do a lot of different experimenting and stuff with 9 versus 50.
yeah,
I didn't want 50 to start with. You may think you do because you want the money of the 50, but you don't. You want the stories of the 9 that you can work with, and you know, that was my thought. And then I built my way up.
yeah. I mean,
But
there is such a thing as growing too fast,
yes.
too soon. So,
Yeah.
you got to
Yeah, for
be
sure.
prepared and ready, or grow it slowly and figure out the quirks along the way for each
Yeah.
business. Yeah.
So I see a lot of the questions, and I wanted to put this little banner up here because I had mentioned in the comments and in the event that I do have I call it a cheat sheet of the 4 things that you need to start your business, to grow your business, however you want to. I think that I actually titled it to start your business, but I know a lot of people are already kind of at that point. But if you want that, just comment cheat sheet, and then I'll make sure and get that to you. But those are a lot of the questions, and I cannot repeat it enough. You have to start simple. You will overwhelm yourself, and worse than overwhelm, you will burn yourself out. And then what?
Yeah. Right.
Then yeah. I mean, I'm kind of to that point where I have my membership that I started in May of 2020, and I'm kind of trying to like rebrand it and figure out. And it was because I got burned out in a lot of ways. I got burned out from sending out those boxes every month. I got burned out from trying to source things that I couldn't get, and were on a ship in China, or whatever that thing was that happened. And I got burned out. Even though I loved it, I got burned out. So I'm in the process of trying to transition, and it's hard, and it's like been messy, and I've felt bad that I haven't been providing for my members, and all of this stuff. So start simple. Start simple, and don't overwhelm yourself, and don't don't think that you want a big audience. You have to have an audience, but you don't want a big audience to start, not unless you're prepared for those growing pains.
Yeah.
You're prepared for those growing pains with people that you're going to need to hire. You're going to need a virtual assistant. You're going to need to stay up long hours. Like, there's a price to pay for that, and it's going to be your energy and your resources.
Definitely,
Probably.
I've done the time with the long hours for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, well, I think those are all the questions that people asked in there. And, here's the last thing that I will say about memberships. Memberships allowed me to have a recurring income, and that's stability. And that was what I was afraid of when I started thinking about having my own business, was stability, right? Like, if no one is paying me a paycheck, how am I going to make money? How am I going to have something stable? And that's memberships. Recurring income allowed me to do other things. It allowed me to build that membership because I did not start, like, I pre-sold because I was offering product. I did not start buying product before I got the money. I don't think until I was like at least 6 months in. I think it was closer to a year. So it was a
Yeah.
year of me waiting for the money to come in from that recurring income to order the supplies to mail out the boxes. So I did not invest and spend money that I did not have. And that was because I started simple.
I love the pre-sales. Pre-sales are
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I've done as an artist and what I
Yep.
teach my members. I give something in the marketing pack to them every single month that has a graphic for to get orders for their painting. So yeah, pre-selling is pretty awesome.
Yeah. And pre-selling before you put the time in a lot of times too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you want to have a welcome video, you want to have, maybe a few things, an introduction post, but I don't spend a lot of time until I prove the concept of and pre-sell that people are interested, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I even did this just this week. I presented an offer and I said, I'm presenting this to see whether people are interested before I go through and put in the effort. I'm not going to put in the effort and then try to sell it to you and then no one buys. So, yeah. So yeah, if you have any other questions as you are thinking about, and I'll come back to all of the comments here and everything too. But yeah, we've been on here for like almost an hour and a half, and this is just a topic that I could go on and on about. And for the workshop that's coming up on April 20th, I will be talking about that more inside of that CBOB group. So if you are in that CBOB group, that is where for a couple of weeks, that's all you're going to hear about is memberships. That's what I'm going to be talking about. So if you want to find out more, just put CBOB if you have not gotten into that group yet, and I'll be talking about it more over there.
Yeah, it's a great group.
And I will offer some things, maybe a Zoom or some different things like that over there too.
Very cool.
So this is just kind of the beginning. So
yeah, the tip of the iceberg.
It really is, because they're having a membership and just all of the different things that taking that free workshop have done for me. I could just go on and on.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So,
well, it's great to have coffee with you, Jamie.
I know. I got to go heat mine up because
I know, me too. I have a huge cup, but I got a little bit way down at the bottom.
Yeah.
As soon as we hop off, I'll go fill it back up.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys all have a great Friday, a great weekend, and I will be back live here again on Monday. And Amy, do you have like a certain time that you go live every week?
I'm kind of like a wing it, fly by the seat of my pants. So no, I do have structured times within my own membership, in my brainstorm sessions, in my course and things like that. But as far as
whenever.
Yeah. I would like to, at one point I did specific structured times. But just like you were talking about with the free group, it's like, I still make sure that I'm doing something consistently, like I am going live. But, unless I have like an event, which you and I do every other Friday, by the way, don't forget, we'll be here for coffee chat. But if I have something set up like this, pre-set up, then yeah, obviously I'm going to be there. But I just kind of jump on, try and go live, 1 or 2 times per week at least. If I'm in launch, then I'm going to be, on live a lot more, as much as I can, really, daily if possible. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, very good. Well, I see a lot of people saying to have a great weekend and everything. So very good. Well, thank you everybody for being so interested in memberships. I really do think if you're at that point where you're thinking about it, the workshop coming up on April 20th is phenomenal. I can give you more information, before then inside of the CBOB group.
Yeah.
So very really good. All right. Yeah. Thanks, everybody.